Once upon a recent chapter of my life, I found myself in the storied halls of Eesti Kunstiakadeemia Tallinn, a place that promised the nurturing of young artistic souls like mine. Oh, how I was deceived by the allure of its ancient name and the whispering pine trees that lined the cobblestone streets leading to its doorstep. I arrived with a heart full of dreams, my eyes wide, with the innocence of a fawn taking its first steps into an enchanted forest. I sought a sanctuary where creativity was meant to soar, unbridled and free. But alas, what I found was a labyrinth of bureaucratic chaos that would make even the most seasoned of scholars weep. The administration, a cacophony of disorganized entropy, left me adrift in a sea of paperwork and enigmatic requirements. Forms twisted like serpents in my hands, each one demanding another piece of my soul. And yet, they offered no clarity, no guidance. It was as if these gatekeepers of art reveled in the bewilderment of us poor aspirants. My interactions with the senior coordinator, a woman whose heart seemed to have been chiseled from the coldest Estonian stone, were a chilling saga of their own. Her emails, devoid of warmth, were arrows that pierced my spirit, each word a frosty dagger. Her rudeness was a stark reminder that not all who dwell within the walls of such institutions possess the delicate touch required to cultivate the tender blooms of burgeoning talent. The facilities, which I had imagined to be temples of artistic exploration, were instead relics of a bygone era, their age evident in every creaking floorboard and flickering fluorescent light. The kilns, those hearts of ceramic creation, were as temperamental as the moods of a capricious muse. Digital labs, the supposed heralds of modernity, were equipped with relics that would have been better suited to a museum exhibit on the history of computing. The studios, rather than being spacious sanctuaries of inspiration, were cramped closets where ideas went to stifle and wither. How could one spread the wings of imagination in such confined quarters? It was a cruel jest, a mockery of the very concept of artistic expression. And oh, the instructors, those vaunted sages of creativity, were more often than not ensconced in their own self-importance. Their critiques, veiled in the guise of constructive feedback, were as opaque and unyielding as the iron curtain that once shrouded this land in shadow. It became painfully clear that their interest lay not in the nurturing of young minds, but in the aggrandizement of their own reputations. Communication from the academy was a specter that haunted my every waking moment, its whispers often coming too late or not at all. The grading system, a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, seemed to be less about merit and more about how well one could play the game of courtier to the capricious whims of those in power. As for the cost, my dear friends, it was a king's ransom. And yet, the value of the education received was akin to purchasing a gilded lily, beautiful to behold, but devoid of substance within. The student body, a cliquey coterie of souls, was as welcoming as a winter's chill to one who did not conform to their rigid aesthetic. I found myself an outsider looking in, my unique voice drowned out by the echo chamber of homogeneity. And so, my journey at Eesti Kunstiakadeemia Tallinn became a tale of sorrow, a chronicle of dreams deferred, and aspirations trampled beneath the boot of institutional inadequacy. It was a profound loss, not merely of time and treasure, but of the boundless potential that once danced like fireflies in the...
I am looking into crimes near Eesti Kunstiakadeemia Tallinn, and I feel that it is sad but necessary to share. Businesses near Eesti Kunstiakadeemia Tallinn are often small souvenir shops that promise authentic crafts, but sometimes they are just fronts for fake exchange services. One shop on the main pedestrian street offered to change euros to local currency at a rate that seemed too good. A tourist handed over a few €100, received a handful of bills that felt lighter, and later discovered that the bills were counterfeit. The victim probably went back to the hotel feeling embarrassed and tried to report the loss to the police. But the investigation likely stalled because the shop disappeared after a few days. The scammer probably fled the city or switched to a different location, leaving the tourist with a dent in the travel budget and a loss of trust in street vendors. Businesses near Eesti Kunstiakadeemia Tallinn are also like art galleries that sell original paintings for a small price. A couple of travelers bought a painting that the seller claimed was a reproduction of a famous Estonian artist. After paying in cash, they received a canvas that was a printed copy, not a hand-painted piece. The visitors probably tried to negotiate a refund, but the seller told them that the sale was final. The couple likely left the gallery feeling cheated and may have posted a negative review online, while the seller probably continued to sell similar copies to other unsuspecting tourists.
Businesses near the Eesti Kunstiakadeemia Tallinn feel like they all went to the same secret school where the diploma says, "Squeeze every euro, then forget how to smile." I am not angry, only tired, like a bank clerk who has counted the same forged note 10 times in one morning. Let me tell you what the air smells like once you leave the academy gates. It smells of QR codes on toilet doors, of massage oil that was never warmed, of pad thai sauce that ran away before the noodles arrived. Start with the shopping. Vurukeskus stands right there, glowing like a promise, but inside it is a spreadsheet with perfume spilled on it. They charge you to pee. Not a metaphor, literally, a turnstile guards the toilets as if the bowl were a museum exhibit. The card reader freezes more often than a Tallinn February, so you end up cross-legged, dancing the payment tap tango while a loudspeaker pumps bass loud enough to shake the soap out of the dispenser. One traveler moved a chair 2 steps closer to the only wall socket. Security arrived like customs officers at a border of chairs. He sat on the floor to charge his phone and felt every footstep judge him. The mall has every brand you already know, but the price tags seem jet-lagged and think they are still in Zurich. Estonian salaries apparently did not get the memo. Walk 5 minutes for calm. Olive Spa promises sea breeze and Turkish steam. What you receive is a drafty corridor that smells of last week's eucalyptus. The hammam stones are lukewarm, like a pizza kept under someone's arm. 2 hours are sold, yet the oil massage is 5 minutes of being buttered like toast, then told the session is over. One birthday guest waited 90 minutes for kindness. None arrived. Only a draft under the door and the sound of a hairdryer next door practicing rock guitar. The robe is too short, the slippers are 2 sizes too big, and the aromatic herbs advertised in the brochure must have taken the day off. You leave greased, cold, and mysteriously 35 euros lighter, as if the money had been steamed out of your pockets. Hungry? Taibo looks like an Asian fairy tale. Red lanterns, carved dragons, cocktails glowing radioactive green. The story ends there. 10 drinks in, and you are sober enough to drive a tram. The bartender appears to wave at the bottles rather than pour from them. A pork belly arrives after everyone else is licking dessert spoons. It is white fat wearing a pork disguise. When you complain, the waiter offers half refund because the kitchen says the meat is fine, which is exactly what a surgeon would say if he left the scalpel inside you. Pad thai sauce has apparently run out. Like, the concept no longer exists. So the waitress steals an order from another table and presents it as yours, cold and clinging together like shy teenagers. Racism sits at some tables like an extra chair. Non-white couples watch window seats given away to paler ghosts. And no menu explanation arrives, only a shrug that says, "Order if you can read my mind." You tip nothing, walk out, and end up in McDonald's, where at least the sadness is honest and for €50. Morning coffee should heal the wound. Fika Cafe instead sprinkles salt in it. The barista speaks neither Estonian nor kindness. After 15 minutes you receive coffee slammed down like a parking ticket. They close in 5 minutes, but forget to mention you must leave with the cup and a takeaway paper. Jacket the lights go off while you are still swallowing the first bitter sip. The pastries run out by early afternoon, as if the baker vanished into a fairy ring. Oat milk is a myth told to children. The machine breaks 4 visits out of 4, like a shy animal that refuses to be seen. You queue for 30 minutes behind people who look as confused as you, all wondering whether the cafe is actually a social experiment on patience. Night falls, you hope music will forgive the day.
Club Studio guards its door with bouncers who invent rules the way children invent new chess pieces. Backpack, forbidden, even empty. Skin too dark, apparently a dress code violation. Inside, the DJ plays I Am in Love with the Cocoa, while security confiscates tap water like contraband. Someone's drink disappears between bar and hand protest, and you are escorted out faster than a wrong answer on a quiz show. The queue is 2 hours long enough to grow a beard, and inside the air is 10 oxygen, 90 aftershave. A girl.